It's your boy PureEize, representing Extreme TCG Gaming, or TCG, I don't know why I said gaming, and this is...
Cheyenne Rincon.
And what did you do Saturday?
I got 13th place out of 390 at Philly Regionals.
Fire with what deck?
RB.
Fire.
Yeah. So, first off, shout outs, of course, home shop, House of Cards, as you can see here, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Come give a shout out, come down. Of course, my entire team here, Extreme TCG, and of course, all my boys here at Lebanon, shout them out. And also, in case any of my students end up watching this, hi students, don't spread this around the school, please.
All right, so let's get to it.
So I'm going to start it a little bit differently than other deck profiles. I'm going to start it with the starters first, then get to the other stuff.
Okay.
So first, 3 RB Stage Landing. This is the deck. This is the whole deck. I see a lot of people not playing RB Stage Landing and try to play like RB to get around the restrictions, but they're idiots. What it does is, especially if it's an RB from your main deck or extra deck for free, as long as it's different than the RB monster that's out on the field. And then for the entire turn, not rest of the turn, but the entire turn, you're locked into machines that are 1500 or less from the extra deck. That's why people try to get around the restriction, but I think this card's just way too powerful. And then if it's in the graveyard and your RBs would be destroyed by card effect, you can replace with an effect, banish this instead. If you notice, no once returns anywhere in this card. This card just establishes so much pressure, does so much on its own, and just answers so much of the crazy bullcrap in this format. And so many people had to read it like, what do you mean there's no once per turn on this? And yeah, it just completely cooked everybody. If you're not playing Stage Landing to play RB, don't play RB. It's absolutely no reason to do so.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So here we got RB Funk Dock. It's the other strongest card in the deck. It's their field spell. It's also the biggest strength and the biggest weakness. When it's activated, you search for an RB card from your deck to your hand. There's a lot of cards that do that in here. The downside is that it is mandatory to search an RB card from your deck to your hand, which means if you get drilled before you get to RB Funk Dock, you can't even play this card. Which sucks because you need the card to be on the field to really get the best value from RB. Whenever you destroy opponent's monster by battle or by card effect with an RB monster, you gain 500 life. It does not go into chain link. It just happens. Easy to forget that. And then the main reason you care about this besides the search is that once per turn, when your RB leaves by card effect in any capacity, you just special summon another RB from your main deck. That's different. Doesn't have to be different. This has to be another RB from your main deck. This lets you get to extra interruptions. It lets you float through a lot of bullcrap. Having Funk Dock established is often your game plan. Once you do that, you're feeling real comfortable and you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Nice.
All right, so the other one-card starters of the deck. 3 Terratop and 1 Taka Talmborg.
So now, basically a Droll Magnet.
Basically a Droll Magnet, but by some miracle, I did not get drolled on this once the entire day. I think it's because part of it is if I sensed Droll might be an issue, I just didn't use the search for Terratop, and that was just fine. But yeah, I didn't get drolled on this once today, which made me hate it a lot less than I usually do. My boys at House of Cards know how much I detest this card usually, but today was fine. And Taka Talmborg is not as much of a brick in this deck because one of your extra deck monsters happens to be wind. So sometimes you Stage Landing and special summon this out and get to go off anyway. It was fine, nothing special. You just need 2 machines to do whatever you want. And then this is where the spice comes in. So everybody knows about this in RB. Almost everybody plays this engine in RB. 3 engage, 1 Hornet drones.
I need to burn this card. I'm tired of engage.
I'm not. I love engage. By the way, in this deck, you would think you draw a lot with this engage. You don't. I drew with it maybe twice the entire time. It's pretty rare that you actually get to draw with engage in this deck. But the actual reason this card's busted in this version now is because of this. 3 Pillar of the Future Cynos and 1 Skyscraper Ace Rose. So a lot of people saw this card like, what in the living mother is this card?
You can curse like a bleep this shit.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. Completely. But yeah, this card's crazy. So you can special summon it if you pitch a spell, but I rarely did that. I'll say it's just the only normal summon you're playing in this deck. If you normal special this card, you get to special summon Rose from your deck or graveyard, which means sometimes Rose is a brick. But not always. Sometimes you can make do with Rose. And then while this card's in your graveyard with Rose, you can banish it. And then you can bring a Rose from your graveyard either back to your hand or special summon it. This just established so many bodies all day. And even Rose, ironically enough, had value from both of its effects. So people who don't know, when you special summon a Skyscraper Ace in your extra, you can special summon Rose. and from your hand, and then more importantly, the graveyard effect. If a Sky Striker Ace were to leave by an opponent's card effect, you can just summon this from the graveyard and negate an opponent's monsters on the field. This actually came out twice when it never came out before, and it won me both times it did that. This was crazy. There's so many games where you get to game turn 3, turn 4, and you just make more bodies, and your opponent just gets back broken until you actually get to your RB engine, and then you just cook them. Wouldn't trade it out for anything. I think it's absolutely the best thing you could be doing with this deck. It was fantastic. That being said, most 2 machine engines work pretty well for the deck.
Okay.
All right, so now for the interruption pieces for RB, at least for the monsters. So you have 1 God 10 cutter, 1 God 10 driller, and 1 Lambda blade. So what these do, almost all RBs except for the Lambdas can inherent special summon themselves off in hand if you have face-ups or only RBs, or you don't have any face-up monsters on the field. This is really good. It makes
So they play around K9.
Plays around K9. This deck, if you notice, outside of Cyanosis' graveyard effect, never triggers on K9 ever. So K9 Vanquish Soul felt completely free a lot of the time because like Izuna just never activated, so they just never had a hand trap to do anything to me. And then they all have effects where they burn themselves for their attack and defense. So like 500 to 700, whatever, to do a thing, and then they blow themselves out to do it. So Driller, pay 500, target itself, target opponent's face-up monster on the field, destroy them as a quick effect. Unintuitively, with the stuff that destroys, you can do replacement effect with Stage Landing to protect your stuff while destroying your own stuff. But if it does anything else besides destroy the opponent's stuff, you can't do that. Like for example, Cutter is a spell trap negate by paying 7, but if you protect this and it doesn't destroy itself, it doesn't negate, which is a pain in the butt when you're learning the deck for the first time. And actually, it did cost me the last game against Gem Knight because they booked of Eclipses when I went to go negate their effects, and then this didn't get to resolve. Lambda Blade is one of the few that doesn't special summon itself, but that's because all of its other effects are absolutely nasty. When it's special or normaled, you can dump any RB card, import if you want to get all your interruptions, or to be able to play one of the tech pieces in here that helps. Also, probably the best interruption piece, you pay 14, target one of your opponent's monsters, pop this, steal theirs. This makes Yummy cry because like normally Yummy just answers you like you normal summon Cupsy, and almost certainly you're getting the full combo unless your opponent has like 3 interruption pieces.
But once you take a name, they basically can't do anything.
Yeah, Lambda Blade just takes it and they're like, okay, cool. If you don't have Marshmallow on your hand, you pass your turn. And that happened like twice. Where it's like Lambda Bladed, took their Cupsy, they couldn't do anything anymore, and died. And also when you take with Lambda Blade, it doesn't go back to the field at the end of the turn. It just dies. Just straight dies. 99% of the time it's a good thing, 1% of the time it's a bad thing, and actually did come up where it almost screwed me, the fact that they gave the opponent's stuff back. But generally it's just absolutely insane as an interruption piece. And then the other 3 RBs we play, Vulcan Rocket, Pile Bunker, and Lambda Cannon.
Yo, he's rich.
Yeah, I actually got that at the event. Someone, one of my boys randomly found someone that had a Starlight, and they were selling it for 5. I'm like, cool, let me just get this 5 real quick, because I already had the Ultra in here, just swapped it out for the Starlight. So, hopefully I can make this go up. Vulcan Rocket is pretty simple. So none of these work on the opponent's turn. This is all just your turn stuff. This says pay 1,000, target itself, target 2 cards in the opponent's field, pop them. Simple enough. And it helps you really break boards, make OTKs. This pay 15 when your Brute Blues attacks that's pointing to this. Destroy every card in your opponent's field, which wins the game on the spot usually. A lot of decks just fold to this immediately. This is why Yummy, it feels insanely free for this deck. And then Lambda Cannon is my favorite card in this deck. To me, it's like the reason to play the deck. When you normal special summon this, and I did normal summon this once, unfortunately, you get add back an RB card from your graveyard to your hand. But what you actually care about is you pay 12, pop this, look at your opponent's hand, get free look, and then you may choose to special summon a monster from their hand to their board, their effect to negate it permanently. Yeah, so it's a hand rip, you get full hand information. This wins games. It was crazy. I resolved this like maybe 6 times, and it won all but one of those games. And unfortunately, the one game is against Gem Knight, so that's what it is. And then here's the tech cards, Operation Test, Next Phase, and Last Stand. So this was one of the last additions to the deck. I initially was not playing it because I thought it was just kind of bricky and not that helpful, but it actually turned out to be pretty clutch. When you activate this, just bring back a main deck RB from your graveyard, special summon it, and then what you may choose to do is target as many RBs as you want during your turn, bounce it, gain life points equal to the original attack total, bounce in the hand, and then special summon an RB from hand. 2 things to know about that. 1, because you're removing an RB by card effect, it triggers Funk Dock. That's huge. Second thing, gaining life won me a game because I was like at 300 against the last Draco Tail face. This let me gain enough life to be able to trigger all my effects again and kill the Draco Tail player when I would have just died otherwise. It also won me the one game I did against Gem Knight, even though I lost the match, where I had to bounce all my stuff so Estrados didn't kill me, and I gained enough life so I didn't die, and then kill him on the back crack. Next phase is the quintessential, archetype, counter trap, woo. You just, if you have an RB monster, you destroy...
Negates and pops, right?
Negates a monster effect and pops. The key is, A, you gain 2,000 life, and B, you don't have to pop an RB monster. You can pop any monster. So the funny thing you do is, you steal with Lambda Blade, and then your next phase, you pop the monster you took. And gain 2,000 life. So that's actually pretty neat. And then Last Stand is a card that I see a lot of RB players cutting. They're incorrect. This is the reason you can play around so much bullshit in this deck. Alright? This special summons an RB from basically anywhere, as long as it's different from the stuff you have on field. And then while it's in the graveyard, it has the same lock as Stage Landing does. And then while this is in the graveyard, you can banish it to negate a target effect, though you cannot use both effects in the same turn. This is the reason you're allowed to play through Droll, you're allowed to play through Fool, you're allowed to play through Charmings. If you don't have this in the deck, you are significantly more vulnerable to those cards, okay? So I think anybody cutting this is wrong. I kept this in this deck every single time, and it was crazy. And then just quick on the non-engine, 3 Ash. While I do think the deck is actually pretty resilient towards a lot of Charmies, you still like to have the Ash to deal with this so that we can keep playing. So it's,
Bro, is that 3 commons and a ulti?
no, it's 2 commons and an ulti. Yeah, shut up. My rarities are mismatch, okay? I'm poor. 3 Fua. I wish I could say more on this, but you know, it's Fua. You have to play it.
Yeah, put that card to 2.
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing on that right now.
What's that card to 2?
3 Bell. I'm not gonna lie, Bell was actually MVP for me on Saturday. Again, the stuff that does the Yummy is really good. There's so many niche scenarios where it won't end a turn, but it will keep you just alive just long enough to win. The reason I won all the Draco Tail matches that I did, 2 out of 3, was because I had 1 or 2 ghost spells that just kept me alive long enough to fucking win. Against Yummy, it was fantastic. Against Draco Tail, it was fantastic. Going second specifically. Once going first, it was actually terrible against Draco Tail. And then against K9 Bakersfield, it existed. So, but it was very useful to have the entire tournament. It was MVP. Droll, honestly, Droll was kind of mid. It was fine like the first against K9 Bakersfield, but otherwise, yeah, I know, shut up. But otherwise mid. But this, I tried so hard to find cards to replace it, but I wanted the 15th hand trap, and none of the other hand traps I felt were good enough. So I just went with that. Could have been Valor, maybe, to make Draco Tail a little bit easier, somehow all considered. And then not last, but almost last, 3 Imperm. Yeah, I was counting on this a lot, but Imperm was crazy. Just being able, whenever Draco Tail went for a Arthalion that went for 2 or more, and you Imperm them, it was just a complete blowout. And just being able to draw into it, Imperm, something as a board breaker, just to make sure it's like, okay, there's not gonna be a problem against like Caesar. Though I didn't play against Caesar, against like Arc Lights, that sort of stuff, Eshatos, that sort of thing. So yeah, Imperm was great. And then the last addition to the deck I made at the last minute, One Call by the Grave. It was initially at 42, but I really wanted to find room for call by, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it in. It worked out for consistency's sake. I only bricked one game out of like 20 some games. I bricked once, so having the 43rd card didn't matter. Callback was alright. You know, I don't think I would be better or worse off having it in the main deck. It was kind of whatever. It was worse against Draco Tail going second that I'd like to give credit for because they usually just bounce the shit that you're doing. One Draco Tail player I faced was fantastic. I went to call by his 5 mana, but he chained Horn in an unfavorable state just to make sure the 5 mana resolved, which was a fantastic move.
So it didn't matter if you had it in the deck or not?
No, I don't think it would have affected much of anything. I think it was good maybe once all day, but it's also a good card, so I'm not feeling that bad if it didn't perform one in the tournament. So main deck's at 43.
Alright, let's go to the extra deck. Let's get to it.
3 Vulcan boosters. This is the starter deck. This is the reason why it's a 2 machine and go off deck. When it's summoned, it needs 2 machines. Search for any RB spell, which is either Flunk Dock or Stage Landing. Sometimes it's Operation Test, which is rare. And then you may special summon as an initial effect, special summon an RB from your hand or graveyard in defense position, so all the main deck ones. And then this can move into the main monster zone if you needed to. That also gives you that 1500 lock. What can I say? The card's fantastic. It's the reason you get to stay in so many games. You can make a resource loop with this and Lambda Cannon. This is the reason why the deck works as well as it does.
Is that a link 1 or link 2?
Link 2. 3 blue blues. This is what you're getting off stage landing 99.9% of the time. This card is absolutely custom. He says 2+ machine monsters. Half the time you don't give a crap about that. So here's what it does. It's 1500, link 3. While it points to an RB monster, it gains the attack of all the original attack of all the RBs it points to. Can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect, and can attack twice. So it gets really big, attacks twice, can't be destroyed, and then it also searches for an RB card as an initial effect every turn. So every time this lives, you're winning the game. With this in Pile Bunker, you're destroying 7,500 damage to a complete board. I have a funny anecdote about that a little bit later, but I won't go into it now due to time. 2 Shepherd's Crook, unsung hero of this deck, and this is the reason, again, I think the deck's actually really good into a lot of lingering floodgates. It has actually looser. It just needs an RB monster plus 2 other machines. Gains 500 attack for every non-monster that's not itself, so it can get really big as well. When ignition effect, set a trap from graveyard or deck, so you just keep in the resource loop. If they fool you or they droll you, you just go into this, set last stand, and you have 3 interruptions represented if you have Funk Duck, or 2 if you don't. Like, it's just nuts. And then during the opponent's turn, main phase, you can target 3 level 3 or higher RBs in your graveyard, put 2 in the bottom, and special summon 1. So this is why you get 3 interruptions every single time on the opponent's turn, and it's absolutely nuts.
That's pretty nice, pretty nice.
And then the non-RB stuff. So 2 Kugari, I'm just going to put all the Sky Striker stuff out. 2 Kugari, 1 Shizuku, 1 Hayate, 1 Zeke. Now, obviously, you're never using the effects of these 2. Ever, at least I hope not. Second Kugari did come up a lot because you're playing more Sky Strikers than usual, so having a second Kugari is really nice. You need Hayate because you need a down arrow. I actually kind of wish I had a Kaina here because I kind of need a second down arrow in some cases. And Zeke was good to just remove a body on the field. February, Camellia is coming in this deck immediately, and it's going to be absolutely nuts in here. And then the last 2,
heard it here first.
Clockwork Knight and Barricade Board Blocker. Clockwork Knight it doesn't do anything. It technically does do anything here. I do have the combo.
Gives you a floodgate.
It
gives you a floodgate.
But as you see later, the floodgate didn't do jack anything. But otherwise, sometimes it just gives you more value. You get RB body off the board, and then you can bring it back with a Vulcan.
Does Barricade Board Blocker's effect ever come up?
If you're doing the combo with Clockwork Knight coming out the side, it should. Generally, no. During the regional, it didn't.
Okay.
So that's the 15, and then side deck. 2 thrusts, 1 talent. This came in at almost every game 1. Every turn 1 I played, it felt like card was busted. Thrust is broken in this deck because you have a trap you can search, and your spells are absolutely broken.
So 2 work better than 3.
It was mostly for room. If I could have played 3 thrusts, I would have, but it's just a matter of room. You just have to make concessions. It is what it is. Talent was broken, as talent usually is. I wish I could have found room in the main, but I don't think it's the format you can afford to display board breakers. I'd rather just be on 15 traps.
Yeah, talent's probably gonna get banned soon. That card wins games.
I would not disagree. Talent is really broken, especially when you can handle it up already. So you have Regulus, there's a Clockwork Knight, and then the Blackout Last. So these 2 are part of the combo where if you have Clockwork Knight and Barricade Board Blocker, you can either choose to get the Floodgate or choose to get the Regulus. I'm gonna tell you right now, all these cards were ass. I don't tell you, Regulus is just a bad extender. It did come up, don't get me wrong, but I never searched it. Clockwork Knight, I hard drew it 1 time. So theory, I had both of these against Pure Yummy, and they still broke it. Because to be fair, I was trying to get too cute. I had this out. I'm thinking, okay, they can't make a Snatchy, so I called this Cups of Yummy. Turns out their hand was full of Yummies. They just make SP out this, and then they got to go off anyway. Thankfully, I won that game. Otherwise, I would have been humiliated coming on the way back home. But I honestly, I'll go take all 3 of these out almost immediately. These were only okay at best.
I don't know. I feel like Black Goat's good in situations.
Black Goat's good, but I think there's better stuff we could put in for Black Goat.
Makes sense.
Perulia is Perulia. Just an extra Mulcharmy. I'll rock it up because I played a lot of Draco Tail and K9 Vanquish Soul. This wasn't amazing, but I did play a few Yummies, and it was really good there. Not much to say. This is the tech I specifically came up with, and I see no one else come up with. It was Twin Twisters.
Talking about old school.
Yeah, so everybody and their mother's on Double Cyclone to be the way to break Draco Tail, because the thought is you play your powerful spell, you double Cyclone, they Draco Tail Flame it, you double Cyclone, pop your spell, pop Scorn or Sting, and then you get that massive value. Twin Twisters does literally exactly that, with the upside of not sucking in every other situation. which actually came up when I faced Draco Tail. I drew Twin Twisters, but I didn't draw a power spell. So instead of just having Double Cycle and sit there doing nothing and then to be dead, I just Twin Twistered to force out the flame, and then I just like, cool, activate Funk Dock, and then won. So I think this is better than Double Cycle in almost every scenario, unless you're a deck that just can't discard. This deck can afford the discard, so I think this is straight better than Double Cycle. It's just more flexible. And then the last card, 3 Denko Sekka. This card is absolute garbage. Like, I thought this would be the killer app against Draco Tail, but it turns out Draco Tail gets us out this way very easily, especially if they open Brain Infusion, and they're definitely going to be opening Brain Infusion next set. It was just bad. They had like Albion out, and they were just like Sanctifier. They Sanctified this away the second I normal summoned it, and it did nothing. Just wasted my normal summon. It sucked. That's what I can say. I would argue it even cost me that one Draco Tail matchup, where if I had anything else, I might have a better chance of winning that and then actually topping. So that's my side deck. Matchups were just Canine Vanquish Soul round 1, 2-0'd them. Round 2 is Pure Yummy, a close 2-1. Round 3 is a Mitsu Yummy 2-0. Again, just shows how obscene this deck is into like Mitsu and Yummy because you just don't care.
It's kind of crazy how that deck works against the meta decks.
Yeah, I thought this deck was real when I played here at locals, and I played against every meta deck, and it felt good into all of them. So it was crazy. Round 4, Draco Tail was the one loss. Unfortunately, I blame Danko for that. It was also the one brick I had the entire day. Round 5 against Pure Yummy, 2-1. Again, another close one. It was the one I ended up almost screwing up with the Popcorn Knight and Blackout Laughs. Opponent, you were cool, but do not spend 10 minutes reading a card 5 times again, please. Round 6 against Draco Tail, 2-1. Ghost Bell saved my butt. Round 7, Draco Tail 2-0'd them. Thank you, Good Samaritan, that was there, who noticed that the opponent summoned Kokomo Drago and did not have the dragon in hand. So he called Judge, and Judge noticed, got that popped, ended up winning me the game. Round 8 against Mitsu Orcus, that was a spicy list. 2-1, really good game. Except for game 2, I got destroyed game 2. I just scooped that immediately. And then round 9, I got 1-2 against Gem Knight, the one matchup I didn't want to see. Moy Jensen, fantastic player. His main deck had 12 cards that absolutely annihilate this deck. Like, it's not even close. So it is what it is. But again, Gem Knight got the top 8. That's awesome in its own right. But that's what I got.
So any changes that you're looking to do in the future?
Yeah, go away. It's trash. I will get rid of these in a heartbeat too, honestly, at least for the side deck. Main deck,
What are the options for those?
For the side deck, I think about Retaliating Sea. I want, because Draco Tail feels my worst matchup. I feel like we are RB's incredibly favored into Yummy, and I think it's about an even split against Canine Vanquish Soul. The Vanquish Soul stuff's really good, but they only have Canine cards. You absolutely annihilate them. So I feel like you just need more life for Draco Tail and probably for Malice. I got, as you can see in the matchup shred, I got really lucky. Even though Malice was around me the entire day, I didn't play into any. But I didn't really want to respect it, to be honest. But I play like Retaliating Sea or something like that. Just stuff to beat Draco Tail a little bit more. And then I wish I had better going first stuff like Solemns or something like that.
Would you play Rivalry?
No, because it conflicts with Rose.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Rose is a warrior, so you can't actually play Rivalry because it cuts off it cuts off some of your extension on follow-up turns. You're just kind of hoping Rivalry gets you there. Plus, if you look at the matchup spread, I played enough Pure Yummy and Draco Tail where it's like it doesn't do as much as you want it to. And then the main deck, the one thing that changes is like I'll consider cutting Droll for Veiler. Maybe put Trilogy to the side. That's about it.
All right.
But that's everything I got for this. I'm always open for questions from anybody. They know me. I'm already yapping too much on this video as it is. So.
All right, so that's the deck profile, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So please subscribe and follow PureEize on his YouTube.
Yeah, follow Extreme TC Gaming on YouTube.
See you all next time.
All right.
Yep.